Welcome to Gold Medal Business, the place to be if you're a children's activity and sport entrepreneur who is serious about growing and scaling your business to six-figure success and beyond. We talk growing your team, growing your students and your venues, and so much more. I'm Katie Cannon, former 5 times British gymnastics champion turned 7-figure entrepreneur. Are you ready to get started? Let's grow your business. Welcome to Go Gold with Katie, the place to be. Oh, and my phone's dropped with our Instagram streaming in. Give me 2 seconds. Hopefully it will stay. No, it's not going to. As I'm sussing this out, welcome. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Hopefully that's going to stay. Any luck? Fingers crossed. Welcome to Go Gold with Katie on Thursday, the place to be if you are a dedicated children's activity entrepreneur, ready to make a change in children's lives as well as your lifestyle by building a phenomenal business. Welcome. Oh, I love coming to see you on a Tuesday and a Thursday. Hope you've had a phenomenal week. And what the feedback we've been getting from our brand new book that launched just over a week ago has been fantastic. There's nothing more that I have loved. This idea, this book has been in me for many years, is when I'm jumping on calls with clients, is we're reading your book and this is what we're implementing, which is music to my ears and exactly why I pulled the book together and put so much work into delivering it for you. So if you haven't yet got yours, I want you to, in the comments or drop us a DM, I want you to put book so my team and I can get that across to you so you can start implementing super quick. So today, 10 ways that you can keep your team motivated. Of all the questions, whether you're a brand new business owner in this industry or you're turning over a couple of million a year in your business and you're very well established with multiple venues, one of the biggest questions we get is marketing and team, without a doubt. And team and marketing, they're both parts of your business. They're operations in your business that are always going to be evolving. It's not a one size fits all. It's not a tick in a box. I'm done. It's not, oh my God, I've learned everything I need to know. I'm going to step back. I'm going to relax and I'll put my feet up. You're always evolving, but you're getting better every time. You're refining every time. Therefore, the job doesn't feel as big. So having this conversation with one of my clients the other day, who's got a phenomenal business and nearly turning over close to sort of 800, 900,000 a year. And they said, our goals for next year is really easy to set with our team. And I said, that's fantastic. That's good because you're getting better at setting them. Your team are a better place to actually set them. They're more motivated because you're better at setting them. You're more clearer. You're more focused. The bigger your business is getting, often it's not about, setting these massive lofty goals. It's about refining and getting better and working at all the little nooks and crannies of your business. So 10 ways today to keep your team motivated in the children's activity world. And you can relate this to any business, to be honest, these tips that I've got for you today. Building your team, without doubt, will be one of the hardest things you do in your business, but also the most rewarding when you see the freedom, the lifestyle, the time, and the brain space that it gives you. So as you're going through building your team, I always want you to remember to not give up at a hurdle, to not give up when you think, for goodness sake, I'll just do it then. I'll just step back into the trenches because they're not listening and I can do better myself. You might feel like that for a couple of minutes, but I want you to quick swivel because when you do that, you need to, if you're always going to be in that mindset, you'll never grow. And then you'll be frustrated with the other part on, I've got no lifestyle. I'm in the business 24/7. So we will say, you're going to solve one problem, then you're going to have another problem arise. So with your team, it's always important to keep that in your mind. You're going to be a roller coaster. You're going to have ups and downs with your team, but to bear in mind that you want to always be getting better and refining this process. So number 1, I want you to create clarity. You have to create super clear clarity in the roles that you have for your team. You don't want to have a role that you're thinking, Am I asking them to do 3 jobs in one? Am I asking too much of this person? Is this clear to me? Whenever you have a role, always reread it. Get someone else to reread it. Get your children to read it. What is this person responsible for? Because often when there's overwhelm and your team are not motivated, it's because they're in the wrong position for their skill set, or you're asking them to do multiple tasks. You've heard me, if you've been in our community for quite some time, you've heard me talk about this in my early days with my kind of admin stroke, sales stroke, enrollment coordinator stroke, you name it. She did it. And she did so much. And looking back now, I think, whoa, goodness knows how she stayed with me for 9 years. I really don't know. But now I would approach it very, very, very differently. So number 1 is clarity. Number 2 is your North Star. Meaning, what's the vision? What is the vision for you building the company? What's the vision for them? What do they want out of it? You notice I said them. What's their goals, their vision? Yes, that matters. Because if they're working with you in core roles, they need to know, where's this company going? Where are you leading this company? If you are the visionary and as the CEO, you're like, I don't really know where we're going. I don't really know what the North Star is. Really not sure what we're doing next week. Are they going to follow you? Are they going to build their belief in you as a leader? So always be thinking, what's the North Star? And you might not be crystal clear on that. And that's absolutely fine. But have an idea. So it doesn't have to be all the nooks and crannies and all the nuts and bolts and this is exactly how it's going to happen and this is what we need to get there. But have a vision. Maybe it's like in the next 5 years, we want to have our own center. We want to have our own studio. We want to franchise the model. In the next 10 years, we envision 5 centers in approximately these locations. So you've got a vision. So number 1 is clarity. Number 2 is North Star. And then number 3 is all about in depth. So I want you to be really clear on how you're spending time with your core members of your team. Your core members of your team, 1-to-1. You need to make sure you're seeing all your core members of your team on a 1-to-1 basis every single week. So you're sitting down with your center manager if you have one. You're sitting down with your marketing team. You're sitting down with your head of sales. If you don't have these yet, this is a vision for you for the future and to start thinking about so that you've got that core team that are having that precious time with you on a week-to-week basis. Very important as you grow and scale and your time gets less and less because you're scaling, not because you're in the business, you're working on developing the brand. Number 4, you want to make sure you've got autonomy within reason. Meaning ensuring you've got the different leadership capabilities within your core team. Ensuring that your leadership evolves with each season that you're in. So you will find I'm a very different entrepreneur today than I was 16 years ago when I started. My leadership today is different to what it was 12 months ago. Because I've evolved as the company has grown, but also because as my leaders have grown. You'll always notice how I say leadership and not just team. Because for you to build a business that can grow and thrive without you in it, you need people who can think for themselves, who can think on their feet, and they're not just being guided, but, I need you to do this now. Off they go. They might be a great worker when they do that, but you need them to think on their feet. You need them to think outside the box. You need them to come with their position. I'll give you an example. When my center managers came to me and said, I think we need to redo some of our staff on our team contracts, looking at some of our freelance instructors that we have. And I had not thought of that. She was like, I think some of them are out of date. I think we need to update it with our new missions and our ethics and what we expect. Fantastic. Let's put that as a P1, a priority before the end of the year. Amazing. Think outside the box. So your roles are going to really grow on what's required on their role, but also what you're requiring on the next level expectation. Your leaders are growing with you. So if you feel, and this is totally okay if this happens, it does, you will find people will outgrow you. You will put in terms of you're outgrowing them and they're not growing with you. So you think like they're outgrowing you and you're outgrowing them because they're not good enough for the level that you're trying to get to. And that is okay. You almost don't want it the other way around where they're outgrowing you to a point where they're like, this business isn't growing fast enough or the vision's big enough for me to want to stay here. Leading on to the next one. Number 5, talented team members need direction and creativity. So very mirroring to what I've just said, to keep leaders in your team, core leaders that are going to really drive your business forward. And you maybe think, I don't even have any leaders yet. I'm 6 months to a year into my business. It's really good to start thinking this. I wish I'd known this advice early doors, because I would have treated people maybe slightly different in terms of what I've wanted from their roles. Maybe been a bit clearer. I might have held, in fact, not might, I know, looking back at some of the people I've had work with me over the years, I know I would have held on to them better if I had been better. So you need to make sure you're creating the space for them to grow, the roles to grow. And it's your responsibility as the CEO in your business to be able to create more classes, to create more programs, to create maybe a new venue, to create the next step for them that they can really build, lean into, and motivate them. Number 6, create a safe space for your team to fail. So you're putting complete, as I said, my person that came to me and said, we need to do our contracts again. We've created such a safe space that I'm always open to ideas. They know that I'm always open for new ideas, new feedback, because I've created that space. It's not like, no, I've said that and we need to do that. Whenever we've had a big team meeting last night planning for next year, every time I've come up with something, I'm like, what do you guys think? Because I want to hear what is important to them. So when you're building your team for motivation, you're needing, whether you've got one team or 50, you need to always go with that, right? This is the idea. What do they think? You're then opening it up as a safe space. You're creating creativity. And what is that? What did we just talk about? Leadership. That then is enhancing their leadership because they feel safe. They're feeling like they can think outside the box. Therefore, you're creating leaders that are then going to step up and over time get you out of the business, which is exactly where you're wanting to be looking at to grow your business, if that's your goal. Are you ready for that next level of growth and you're super serious about getting the level of support that you need? Then look no further. Our Your CEO mentorship program is open for you to apply to if you are insanely serious about growing your marketing, your team, your next level leadership. You're really serious about that next level growth and scaling your brand to your next vision and beyond. This is exactly the right mentorship for you. It's a 12-month mentorship which is completely tailored around your needs to grow and scale your brand in the children's activity industry. With over 100 years of experience in this program of myself and my team that are sharing weekly trainings of team successes, but also the one-to-one touch. One of the things that we're incredibly powerful and proud of our mentorship is it not only gives you the group element, but it gives you the high touch, the high nurture, and the one-to-one support that I know after teaching hundreds of entrepreneurs will really take you to that next level. So if this is something for you, I want you to book a call in the show notes below. Get yourself in front of our team so we can see if this is exactly the right fit for you and to get you up and running and to start to see your business thrive. Number 7, committed to outcome, not process. Committed to outcome, not the process. So often we can get bogged down in the day-to-days and the nitty-gritties that are pulling us down, whether it's on your finances, whether it's on your marketing, any area of your business, and you think the process isn't working. It's not. You look at the end goal. Remember we talked about the North Star. What's the vision? What's the vision for that particular role? What's the vision for that particular process in that week, that month, that quarter? So you keep the vision high and not in the weeds, because so often in business, goodness me, I'd have quit a long time ago in business if I brought myself down every time something daily is not working, because I'm failing all the time. Your quickest way to success is fail as fast as you possibly can, which is why I've said creating that safe space for your team to fail. You want to embrace it. Do you know what I say to my team when they fail? I give them a massive high five. I'm like, wicked. I'm pleased you tried that. I'm pleased you failed because we now know it doesn't work. Great. You got to. Don't be afraid. The amount of things I've failed millions of times. If I'd wrote down in the last 16 years of being in business how many times I failed, I think I'd fill about 10 notebooks. Okay. So you've got to fail and it's okay. I've fallen on my face so many times. I fail daily. There are so many things that we've done this year that haven't worked across multiple businesses, and that's okay. That's fine. It's all part of growth. So keep the vision on the outcome, not the day-to-day crap that's pulling you down, because you won't get there. Your business is a journey. We've heard this so many times, haven't we? It's a journey. It's not a race. It's a journey. It's a marathon. Okay? And if you're into running, I think of this when I'm running. I'm trying to run 2 10Ks a week at the minute. And as I'm hitting the last 2K, which is so hard, I'm thinking that. I think like a business person, as an athlete. You hear me all the time talk about athlete to business to athlete. Thinking of that mindset because you're stretching yourself physically, mentally. So important to always keep that in mind.
Hi there, my name's Shelley and I run a theatre school business for children called Stepping Out Stars of Tomorrow, hence the bowler hat and the show pictures in the background. I've had my school for 15 years and absolutely love doing what I do, and I've had several business coaches through that period, but I just felt with Katie that I really connected to her. She was really lovely on the phone. I felt that she had a wealth of experience which would really help me take my business to the next level. And that's not to say that the coaches that I'd had before weren't great, because they really were, but I really like the fact that Katie's mentorship had lots of different children's activities in it, and I think it's fantastic that I can learn from football coaches or rugby coaches. It's not just about dance and performing arts, and that was something that really struck a chord with me. I've been in the membership for the last couple of months and I've really enjoyed the time that I have already started to implement some of the amazing things that Katie has suggested. The first being bringing an extra 55,000 into my business, which could be fantastic if that comes off. So yeah, I'm really super happy and really recommend CEO membership. It's great.
And I talk about a lot of this in the book that we launched last week and said, if you haven't got your copy of it, it's called Unlock Your Potential as a Children's Activity Entrepreneur. I want you to drop us a DM. I want you to drop us a comment wherever you're tuning in from. Make sure you get your hands in it, because it's 16 years of business growth directed to the children's activity market. And I talk a lot of journey from athlete to business in that, and the mindset and the tenacity that you need to build in this industry. Number 9, ensuring you've got the resources and a plan. This is so relevant as we're starting to move into next year, of starting to really planning. And we've got a fantastic planning event that is about to be launched back end of next week to really support you in 2025 with this. Okay. So making sure you've got the resources and the plan of action. Number 9, you are open to feedback and you're open to change. This all links in. When you're motivating your team, they're all linking in. Whether, from planning to failing to safe space to creativity. When you're open to feedback, when you're open for their feedback, their thoughts on change, their thoughts on, you don't want to be so hell-bent on, nope, I've run this business for 16 years. This is how we've always done it. And just because you've been in for 12 months, this is what you think. They're fresh. They've got new ideas. They're thinking outside the box. That's why they're part of your team. Embrace it. Open feedback. And then number 10, ensure the goals match yours. This is massive, and this is massive on what we're launching next week for you on the back end of planning for 2025. For so many years in the early days, I built a business almost what I thought it should look like, and almost what I thought success looked like and what others were doing. And you end up with a business model that quite frankly, you're like, this is not the direction I want to go in. This is not what's going to give me the quality of life that I want. And I was about 8 or 9 years in before I made some big changes. When I became a mum, Emily's now 9, it changed a lot of things, as it does. Big life moment. It changed a lot of things. I was like, nah, not willing to do that anymore. Nope, I'm changing that. Because I built a business that was around us as a family. It didn't change overnight, but I started to make some subtle changes and some subtle restructures, which is why we have the businesses that we have today. It's taken time. I'm 16 years in the making, and I'm sure the businesses will look very different in the next 10 years because we're always evolving. Our leadership is always evolving. So making sure you're building a business that actually matches what you want to create. So there you have it, my friends. There are 10 ways today on how to keep your team motivated and focused and ensuring you're building the same vision. Your vision is matching theirs and you're all working in unison. So, as I said, if you haven't yet got your free PDF of our free book, then I want you to make sure you DM us or you drop us a comment. It launched last week. It is now on Amazon. But if you want the PDF, we've got an offer running that you can get it completely free at this time. Super, super exciting. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you've enjoyed and you've really got some great benefits, please share with someone you know or someone in the children's activity space to really support them in their growth as a children's activity entrepreneur. Please hit subscribe so we can hit more people and get more great value to them. Thank you so much for being part of our community. It's an honor each week to train and nurture you, and I cannot wait to hear all of your great business successes.